I am undone by reason of a burden that lieth hard upon me. Moreover, I am certain informed that my city will be burned with fire from heaven. The city of destruction is the place also where I was born, and, dying there, I will sink lower than the grave, into a place that burns with fire and brimstone. As I fled from the city of destruction and the wrath to come, I came to a miry slough. This is such a place as cannot be mended. It is the descent, whither the scum and filth that attends conviction for sin doth continually run, and therefore it is called the Slough of Despond. For there ariseth in my soul many fears and doubts and discouraging apprehensions, which all of them gather together and settle in this place. Here have been swallowed up at least 20,000 cartloads, yea, millions of wholesome instructions, that have at all seasons been brought from all places of the king's dominions. But it is the Slough of Despond still. I was met by one evangelist who said to me, pointing with his finger over a very wide field, "Do you see yonder wicket gate? Do you see yonder shining light? Keep that light in your eye and go up directly thereto. So shalt thou see the gate, at which when thou knockest, it shall be told thee what thou shalt do." I went to the gate to receive further direction on how I might get to the place of deliverance. I knocked therefore more than once or twice, saying, "May I now enter here? Would he within open to sorry me, though I have been an undeserving rebel? Then shall I not fail to sing his lasting praise on high." Beyond the gate I came to the hill difficulty, and up this way I ran, but not without great hardship because of the load on my back. I ran thus till I came at a place somewhat ascending, and upon that place stood a cross, and a little below a sepulchre. Upon this cross died my Lord Christ, taking upon himself the sins that burdened my soul. So it was that just as I came up with the cross, my burden loosed from off my shoulders, and fell from off my back, and began to tumble, and so continued to do, till it came to the mouth of the sepulchre, where it fell in, and I saw it no more. But now I came to the valley of the shadow of death, which is dark as pitch. I also saw there the hobgoblins, satyrs, and dragons of the pit. I heard also in that valley a continual howling and yelling, as of a people under unutterable misery, who sat there bound in affliction and irons. And over that valley hung the discouraging clouds of confusion. Death also doth always spread his wings over it. I had gone but a little way before I espied a foul fiend coming to meet me. His name is Apollyon. Then I did begin to be afraid, and drew my sword. Apollyon, espying his opportunity, gathered up close to me, and wrestling with me, gave me a dreadful fall. And with that my sword flew out of my hand, and I began to despair of life. But as God would have it, while Apollyon was fetching off his last deadly blow, I stretched out my hand for my sword and caught it, and with that gave him a deadly thrust, which made him give back as one that had received his mortal wound. I presently saw a town before me, and the name of that town is Vanity. And at the town there is a fair kept called Vanity Fair. It is kept all the year long. It beareth the name of Vanity Fair, because the town where it is kept is lighter than vanity, and also because all that is sold, or that cometh thither, is vanity. So then when one asked me what I would buy, I said I would buy the truth. But those who asked thought me bedlam and mad, and they took me and beat me and besmeared me with dirt, and then put me into the cage that I might be made a spectacle to all the men of the fair. They indeed threatened that the cage nor iron should serve my turn, but that I should die. But some relenting, I escaped and continued my journey. Now as I journeyed on, there was on the left hand of the road a meadow, and a stile to go over into it. That meadow is called a bypath meadow. Then I went to the stile to see, and behold, a path lay along by the way, on the other side of the fence. Here is the easiest going, I thought, and so went over. That night I took shelter in a pleasant arbor, but there was, not far from the place where I lay, a castle called Doubting Castle, the owner whereof was Giant Despair, and it was in his grounds I was now sleeping. Wherefore he, getting up in the morning early, walking up and down in his fields, caught me asleep in his grounds. Then with a grim and surly voice he bid me awake, and drove me before him, and put me into his castle, into a very dark dungeon, nasty and stinking to the spirits. Now a little before it was day, I remembered the key in my bosom called Promise, and then I began to try at the dungeon door, whose bolt as I turned the key gave back, and the door flew open with ease, and I came out. Then I thrust open the gate to make my escape with speed, but that gate as it opened made such a creaking that it waked Giant Despair. Yet as he hastily rose to pursue me, his fits took him again, so that he could by no means go after me. Thus I went on, and came to the King's Highway again, and so was safe, because I was out of the giant's jurisdiction. I came then to the Delectable Mountains. Now there were in the tops of these mountains shepherds feeding their flocks, and they stood by the highway side. I therefore went to them, and leaning on my staff, as is common with weary pilgrims when they stand to talk with any by the way, I asked, Whose delectable mountains are these, and whose be the sheep that feed upon them? And they said, These mountains are Emmanuel's land, and they are within sight of his city, and the sheep also are his. And he made his life for them. So I asked, "Is this the way to the Celestial City?" And they assured me, "Thou art well in thy way." At the last then I came to the heavenly Jerusalem, the innumerable company of angels, and the spirits of just men made perfect. Now, as the gates were opened, I looked in, and behold, the city shone like the sun. The streets also were paved with gold, and in them walked many men, with crowns on their heads, palms in their hands, and golden harps to sing praises withal. And so I came to the paradise of God, wherein I see the tree of life, and eat of the never-fading fruits thereof. And my walk and talk is every day with the King, even all the days of eternity. There I shall not see again such things as I saw when I was in the lower regions of the earth, to wit, sorrow, sickness, affliction, and death, for the former things are passed away.